Okay, hello everyone and welcome to tonight's randomised gaming stream. I'm your host tonight, Random Gamer Riven as always, and welcome to the midweek. And seeing as it is the Halloween week, well, particularly Saturday, and as I won't be streaming on Saturday, I thought, you know what, let's do a few sort of spooky, ghouly games. In honour of that. There aren't a huge number of spooky games on the Mega Drive, I have to admit. I suppose you have Zombies, which is very good, although we do have that on SNES, and we've covered that previously on the channel. You get this, the Ghosts and Goblins. Well, Ghouls and Ghosts, I should say. I keep calling it Ghosts and Goblins, I don't know why. Ghouls and Ghosts. This is the second entry in the series. There are 4 mainline games, although there are quite a few various spin-offs, Wonder Swan game and some other weird and wacky entries into the franchise. So this version was actually released in 1989. It's like the Mega Twins port we looked at the start of the week. It's a reprogrammed one by Sega. In fact, I think this was one of the first reprogrammed ports by Sega. It's basically a way to get around the Nintendo licensing, where if you basically signed up to a Nintendo platform, you couldn't then work on games on other systems, so Capcom licensed the game out to Sega, who could, which was the first way around it. Konami and Capcom did eventually find loopholes in the contract to totally get out of it, and by the end I think they sort of had to admit defeat Nintendo. Now, I don't need to tell you, the series is quite legendary for being a tough series. It's not as hard as Legend makes out, so we've got practice. I'll stick on professional, joystick, Mega Drive arcade. Do play. But yes, this reprogrammed version was first released in Japan in 1989. It was developed by Sega R&D Division 2, and it was published, of course, by Sega under license from Capcom. I assume Capcom got quite a hefty royalties as a way for them to get their games on the Mega Drive without jumping through legal hoops due to the Nintendo contract. By the way, I'm standing up in tonight's stream, so my voice might be a little bit more quieter than normal. And that's what happens when you try to speak in this game and not pay attention. So yes, the series is known for being difficult. It's not as hard as a lot of people make out. It's a tough series, but it's generally trial and error with a little bit of luck thrown in. It's not too bad once you know what you're doing. This Mega Drive version is slightly turned down, so basically what I'm looking for is treasure chests to begin with. In case you don't know now, I haven't studied the game as much as many other players, but there are lots of hidden treasure chests like that one there that will pop up if you jump or do things at specific points to trigger them. So there are a selection of weapons as well. I want to keep the lances because they're pretty decent, and there are one or two. A couple of weapons I don't particularly like, but some of them are very good as well. But yeah, jumping up and doing things at certain points. Just the flame there. Range actually, that one. So the reason we're going to smash all the chests is eventually you will get gold armour out of it that allows us to charge up the weapon and do that. Now, as anyone who knows of this series, if you run out, if you take a hit, you instantly lose the armour you are wearing. So if I take a hit, I will lose this armour. I will actually take that back. It's a lightning strike. Each of the weapons dictates what the super weapon is. This one is slightly toned down from the arcade. So the big change between Ghosts and Goblins in this one is basically, so there isn't a huge amount of change, but you can shoot up. And I think, no, you can shoot up. You couldn't shoot down originally, so it's weird. This one allows you to attack down, which is actually needed for a couple of the bosses. Super Ghouls and Ghosts actually removed the down attack for some reason, which was a step backwards. There is Ultimate Ghouls and... is it Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins, the PSP one? The PSP one is probably an example of what happens when people develop a franchise sequel and don't understand the original. It is a very messy game with that. They tried to implement a Metroid system and then turned it into a level system that just did not work in the slightest. Now, if I take a hit, I will lose the gold armor. And the chests are actually quite clever because depending what state of armor you have depends on what chest will drop what, and you need to remember that because you need to destroy so many chests to get whether armor, silver. So I'm just going to leave that one alone because I don't need that chest. Gotta be careful here. These guys are a little bit of a pain. I can only hurt them when they come out their whirlwind state. The bigger ones, so I might just take that guy down. Axe. It's the strong one. Was it super? That's not a very good super attack. It's actually quite a weak attack. I probably shouldn't have taken the axe. Here we go with the first boss. Yeah, this is definitely a bit easier in the arcade game. That section is normally quite harder. There's a lot more... Oh. Almost had it there as well. Yeah, I don't like this axe. It's actually quite a slow weapon. But yeah, the chest, depending what your stance is, depends what happens. If the magician comes out, you need to kill him before he casts a spell on you. In this version, you only seem to go to the old man. In the original version, you can be changed into a number in the arcade. The arcade's a lot tougher, and you can be changed into a number of various items, including a duck that is totally defenseless. There's the throwing this, that's better. Now this ain't going to be armour, that's why I need to kill him before he casts his curse. Yeah, it's a lot faster. The axe was not very good. That they do a lot more damage. Purely, everything about video games is about DPS or damage per second. So you want a weapon that basically does the most damage per second of attack. So in this case, I can stream and set the attacks out very quickly, so I can high damage compared to the axe, which was quite a relatively slow weapon. I think there's a few more pigs in the... Those pigs are actually infamous because of the fact they vomit on you. They notoriously sort of vomit on you from below, although this version is definitely easier than the arcade release. They have toned it down quite substantially. Takes me down there. go with the Old Man form. The Old Man form is about the only version of the Mega Drive version. I suspect memory sizes were an issue. So do I have? I think I have infinite continues in this, which is good. Because I'm a little out of practice. When you know this game well, it is possible to finish without taking it down relatively quickly, because it does, I think, largely repeat everything in the same process. And if you're quick enough, yeah, 2 chests with you unlock 2 chests you can get. God, I don't think that one was very helpful yet, so you get really good weapons and rubbish super. So it's a trade-off for some of the weapons. Okay, let's try this again. I got taken out by that. I should have stayed close to him to watch the attack. This, like Thunder Force, does have a lot of memory elements, so if you memorise the game, it will be a lot easier. So again, that one, I'm actually going to run from that. I should also state that if you do, in order to get your armour back, you do have to break a set number of chests. So even though this one's going to have a wizard, I still have to open the chest, because that effectively puts it on a countdown timer. So every time I open one, it counts down towards when I will next get the armour. Other upgrades. Every chest is in a specific location, so knowing where they are is key. It will make your life a little bit easier. I have to be honest, this section here is actually, the second half of the stage is one of the harder bits at the start of the game. The second stage I don't think is that hard. Nor is the third stage, once you get round. Basically there's a few sort of, I suppose, sticking points, and once you get past them it's not really that hard. Now I wanted to get that first chest, so... Oh, we do have the duck in this one, okay, so I'm a totally defenseless duck at this point. That's the issue you have with this. I'm just going to exploit the invulnerability. Hey Cher, thanks for joining tonight's stream. Rather colourful but ghouly game with Ghosts and Goblins. Ghouls and Ghosts, I should say. Ghosts and Goblins is the first game in the franchise. I don't know why I'm getting them mixed up tonight. Ghouls and Ghosts. Ooh, a bit of slowdown there. Got lots of pop-up. This is a very close port to the arcade. It's not arcade perfect. There are some visuals missing. The difficulty has been toned down. Oh. I should be off the first level by now, I must admit. But hey, Cher, glad to see you on tonight's stream. I think you've been here every night, haven't you, so far? It's always nice to have returning fans. Much appreciated for fellow randomised gaming fans. again. Oh no, it's actually this stretch here. I'm really not having much luck keeping them. It's just this. Yeah, so you can fall them into. Right, let's do this time. I don't want to spend. Shouldn't be spending this long on the first stage. Some of the stages are tricky. You will die. This game and whole series is about trial and error. It's about learning your mistakes. A lot of people, this commonly appears as like one of the all-time hardest games, but I would argue it's not as hard as a lot of other titles because you can continue at every point, and effectively the game just makes you replay it. So it's a round 2. Compared to something like Wonder Boy and Gunsmoke, this is a cakewalk. Gunsmoke is probably one of the hardest Capcom games they ever did. It's just an absolutely unrelenting shooter. And also, yeah, the game does put you in positions where you can get unavoidable deaths if you're not careful. Sure there, but Wonder Boy, the original Wonder Boy is a game that if anyone tells me is easy, yowzers, that is brutal. Not least because the final hidden world does not let you continue on, and you have to beat it in order to see the true ending. And in order to get there, you have to beat every single stage in the game and collect the hidden dolls, of which some of them are rather complexly hidden with no clear way to unlock. You often have to jump at hidden points and do things, so they are very convoluted. Now that is a hard game to finish because that last world is absolutely unforgiving, because if you die, you are right back to World 1, and that's World 8, so you then have to do all World 1-1 to 7-4 to unlock again. I don't know if you were a fan of Ghouls'n Ghosts. Are you a fan of the series there, Cher? It's definitely, I think, a love it or hate it series for a lot of people. I just remember this from my... This is so strange. I never used to see the sequel around much, but you always used to see the original loads. I just remember it being one of those franchises where you play it in arcade and just fail miserably every time you played it. Ah, it was too close. Always wondered what the knight... Wondered where the knight character was from. Yes, he's quite an iconic character, Arthur. He's appeared in a lot of Capcom games. This is the second game, which is quite an enhancement over the first game. The original game is fantastic, but quite dated visually. This one ups the ante quite heavily on the graphics front. I think you can get turned into a couple of... There are definitely a few other things you can get turned to in the... There goes the armour. Right, let's see if I can keep it this time. Being quick definitely helps in this, because the slower you are, the more things will respawn. The downside is you get things like that won't let you go past. And other times you'll get bits like that where it just keeps... You've just got to be quick. You've kind of got to anticipate the enemies, really, in this franchise. Ow! I can't believe I just lost the armor there. And again, I got too close to the boss and you can't run away from him. Yeah, it's definitely not an easy series, as you may have guessed. Yeah, it's one of those titles that I think a lot of people are kind of... It's tricky, but once you get to know it, it's not as hard as a lot of people make out. But I think the main thing is it's one of those series, because it's tricky. When you start conquering it, you get a sense of pride. I haven't actually finished this. I have done both runs, but it has been some time since I've last played it. And it's surely one of those games you really have to practice for, and even when you do, you're still going to lose a lot of lives while playing through. I should go. I can go. There is another way up. This way is, I think, slightly easy because the other way is pigs right at the top of you. And the pigs do have their interesting vomit attack, which is quite useful, but that's only if you're below. A lot of the enemies spawn at set point. There are two types of enemies. Some are on fixed spawning positions, and some are random. Right, here we go at last. I'm at the boss with armour. Got him! Okay, that was the best part of 20 minutes. Let's see if we can do the next stage quick. This stage is best remembered for the absolutely fantastic music and those annoying turtles. And they've given me a quick inauguration. So I should say thanks, much appreciated for the likes already, guys. As always, if you enjoy our content, please do consider liking these videos, and of course consider subscribing to the channel as well if you like us and want to keep subscribing. Oof. I developed this note. I've started saying oof on stream whenever I get killed. So a way to avoid saying anything slightly stronger. So there's a few games I would be saying something a bit more. Just avoided? Okay, right. Now I've got to try and avoid the bits that I fall down. There is a double jump in the... There's definitely a double jump in the... Oh, it's weird. The SNES one has a double jump. Again, but basically they're designed to make you fall into the pit and get grabbed by the sand monster. Okay, let's just jump up and get out of that one. The music really is... This tune is... Some of the music in this is... Okay, right. I think we've got the flaming. Here we go. For a don't get angry video, yeah. I should, I kind of mean to start on how not to... So I did, if you look up Doom, I did a joke video based on one of the Polygon things where they... And I've always meant to actually do a series, more of a series based on that. Yeah, I can't believe I got taken out by the gargoyle's skull. The gargoyle incidentally got his own spin-off series, although that's the particular gargoyle known as Firebrand, who was the lead one. But and Firebrand and Arthur have never actually met in combat, which would always be quite an interesting one. It'd be quite nice if there's a two-player one with Firebrand and Arthur, which might be quite funny. Because half the time the Demon Kingdom seems to be at war with itself, so... That's the first one. Hi Breadmaster, thanks for joining the stream. Okay, right. Ah, gobbled up. Yeah, notice that some of the parallax backgrounds are below the background's actually missing. You have like an additional, yeah, that's a weird bug. You basically have a black layer rising. I think it's probably a graphics effect intended to. Hello, Rep Lawyer. Oh, we've got a couple people on stream tonight again from last night's stream as well. Hello, guys. I'm recognising some very familiar names as well. So Rep Lawyer, Breadmaster, and Share. Yeah, I think the angry video gaming nerd has pretty much cornered the angry video market, so... Yeah, he really should invest. Every single game in his franchise, his armour does break after one hit. So Arthur needs to consider upgrading. Move, Arthur, move! I've got to watch that skull this time. I'm actually going to ignore the red armor chap and just run for it, because as long as I run far enough, it doesn't matter. If he kills me, I'll be at the next part of the stage. His AI is a bit cheeky as well because he dodges your attacks in specific ways. So there we go. Second part of the stage, which I like. Yeah, it's a really early Mega Drive port, so they may still have been getting to grips with the console, hence why there's probably a few bugs with this one, Breadmaster, because this is 89, and I think this was rushed out, or at least put out for the Christmas window, certainly to sell it in Japan, although they don't directly celebrate Christmas, certainly for that holiday period, and to get it out for the sort of end of 89, start of 90. Yeah, you got that black. It may be a memory issue. They may just had to reduce the size of the background because at the time they weren't optimising things. And remember, as these early games used very small cartridges as well. Oh, Arthur, why won't you shoot up when I tell you to? Because you do get joypad jam occasionally on this. Hi, Watson Studio channel. Hello, welcome to the stream. You look like you're a new viewer. I haven't seen you in chat before. Hello. Welcome to Randomised Gaming. We're just doing a friendly stream of Ghouls'n Ghosts. I should stop calling this Super because that's the third game in the series. I've been calling this the prequel and the sequel. And no, I don't want the sword. That is a terrible weapon. I want something that can deal like so. We'll be getting a fire dog later as well. But yeah, I think this is quite a nice game for Halloween because it's sort of Ghoulsy themed, but it's still quite bright and colourful. It's a very interesting aesthetic. Visually, they've got a very interesting design with the fact it's a creepy, haunted game. At the same time, it still has very nice, wonderful visuals. I don't like the sword so much, I'm going to do that. Just the whole game in... Yeah. Oh, Forgotten Worlds has actually got some cuts. I know they certainly reduced the enemies in this. I didn't think Forgotten... I thought Forgotten Worlds was largely pretty much was all in there, but obviously not. Because I haven't actually played through Forgotten Worlds that much on the Mega Drive. I think I've just done it the once. A couple of games, the arcade games on this, I have just finished and then just never played again. Because the Mega Drive does have a lot of games like that where literally... They're very good, but once you've done them the once, there's not much incentive to play them again. And these days, with so many arcade collections, it sometimes can be a bit tricky to play inferior ports of arcade games, especially because even all the games in this franchise are now on the PS1, the PS2. Okay, it's Flaming Doggy time. Can I get him? I think. He's actually one of the easier bosses, yes. So I certainly won't be doing 2 playthroughs on this, that's for sure. But I'll be, as long as I've got off the first couple of levels, that'll be great. Yeah, I think it was definitely considered the killer app, considering it was so close to the arcade game. I mean, you'd probably had in '89, you probably got this and Phantasy Star 2 were probably the biggest 2 games. But when you compare this to Alex Kidd, the Alex Kidd on the Mega Drive, I think, was billed as a big title, but when it actually released, it was... Alex Kidd on the Mega Drive, how do you say it's not very good? Come on, change back! Ah. Yeah, I mean, when you consider this as an arcade port, it's very, very good. Especially at the time when you would consider that you wouldn't have got arcade ports to this standard before. This really would have been a first. You have a near... what is an arcade game released the year earlier, and you have a near-perfect port of it on the home console, so... I mean, there are actually a few arcade perfect ports on the Mega Drive, but they're the older games, like the Williams stuff. There's a few of the... I mean, it probably gets a little bit overshadowed these days how much of an achievement it was, but it's definitely... Now I should be running along a bit more. Yeah, Super Revenge of Shinobi, definitely Revenge of Shinobi. Although I think this, to be honest, in my personal opinion, I think Revenge of Shinobi is an impressive title, but I think it's not, for me, it's not as playable as this. I think I prefer the gameplay of how this plays in terms of... close. Oh, was a new Mega Drive version of this one released, Watson Studio channel? Tech Toys, yeah, Tech Toys released a lot of stuff. I must admit, I don't know that much about Tech Toys. I know they've done a lot of Sega stuff out in Brazil, but because we don't see too much of their titles over here, it's a little bit of a mystery. But I know they're a really big sort of game studio in Brazil, so. Yeah, must be. For me, I wasn't always a huge fan of Revenge of Shinobi because I found it a bit slow, but when I spent some time with it, I did appreciate it a lot more. Hi 8-bit SNK boy, thanks for joining the stream again. As I mentioned last night, I would be checking out Ghouls and Ghosts, and here we are. On the 3rd level, I'm amazed I've managed to get this far. Grab the gold armor, jump. Oh! Yeah, this section's really, as you said, it's really inventive, but yeah, tricky. I mean, I don't regard these, as I was mentioning earlier, I don't regard these games as hard as some of the others. Wonder Boy is far harder trying to finish. I mean, Wonder Boy, in order to see the true ending, you have to find hidden, oh, I've got to duck that. You have to find hidden, dolls across every single stage. You have to get every single one. There's no room for error. Some of them are hidden in truly bizarre places that, unless someone told you, your chance of finding them naturally is pretty much Zippo. Gunsmoke as well is a brutally hard Capcom game. It's one of the hardest Capcom games I have ever played and managed to finish. Here we go. I mean, I'm a Mega Man vet, so to me a lot of this jumping is fairly straightforward. The rigidness of the jump. Oh, I screwed that one. Yeah. Cool, no worries. I'm just glad people attend the stream. I noticed we've started to actually get a few more people on chat, which is great. I don't know if you guys will be back when I do non-Sega stuff. I know that certainly the Sega stuff's been quite popular. Certainly this Mega Drive's been very popular. So, I was actually looking at King Colossus. I might stream that in at some point. That's an interesting one, because that's a game where literally no one... I literally was struggling to find people who have actually found every item in that game, and that's actually quite a good Zelda clone. It's not a perfect Zelda clone, but it's a really good one, but it only got a Japanese release, King Colossus. I think it has now had a fan translation, but I was playing the Japanese version, as I do like my stuff on original hardware when possible. It's also nice to support retail retro sellers, and also the other fact is most of the time patches people play on emulators, and these days I hate emulators because almost all of them just aren't as good as the real experience, although the best one on Mega Drive by far is Exodus. Yeah, I was going to say you joined on the Dead by Daylight one, which was you joined on the second, I think it was the second Dead by. So I'm glad you guys keep coming back. I'm steadily building the community. It's taking quite a while actually, because we've been streaming for... I started streaming because of the current world situation, because I thought, well, let's do something pretty good. And it's sort of been growing on the channel, but I would like to get back to doing more videos as well. But I think I will keep up the streaming, certainly for this year, and probably what I may end up doing is slightly reducing the stream so that we do video releases or streams alternatively. Although it's not that hard to actually stream, that's the one thing I will say. It's very easy to get a quick stream. Oh, I thought that might be a platform, but I don't think it is. Yeah, you enjoyed my Dead by Daylight stream enough to come back, even though Dead by Daylight's not probably the best game in the world, I have to admit. Surprised that title's been going on for so long. It really is quite bland, but interesting. It's basically hide and go seek with the horror. I will be doing another Bomb Man stream as well. This. Oh, I got gobbled up. Making a lot of repeat mistakes, but never mind. You tend to do. I must admit, I do find trying to chat and talk is does slightly impact my gaming skills. I've seen some people who can do it flawlessly, but I think because you have to concentrate on both, so it's actually trying to read the comments. But it's nice to actually be able to chat to you guys, chat to us, our viewers who help make randomised gaming. Right, duck and get ready to jump. Oh yes, dodge that one. Jump, jump. Yeah, the design is just fantastic. It's really such a wonderful game. My first version of this was actually one on the Amiga. But the Amiga's conversion was not the best of version, I will put it politely. But still, it was nice to actually play a version of it. I was always a big fan of it. Strangely, I never saw this sequel much in arcades. And I was certainly around in... Yeah, some streamers seem to make it very easy. I think because they're used to doing it, but when you get to my age, it gets a bit trickier. It would be interesting if I was streaming when I was younger, how I would be. Oh, jump. No, I haven't Breadmaster. I haven't actually checked the credits for this version, so Yuji Naka actually programmed it. Yeah, it's interesting. He was actually a very good programmer, and then he went to become a producer, and he was a bit of a rubbish producer, so I kind of think a lot of people get a bit big for their boots when it comes to development. Miyamoto as well has outshone his abilities. He was a very good designer, but when it's come to producing, he's made some terrible decisions. Yuji Naka also, I mean, he was a very good programmer, but he's been involved in a few of the foul-ups with Sega, and you can easily see. So I don't have respect for some of them that some of you guys made it, because I've seen what they've done in the industry after their initial works, and so you actually think, alright, got me. Yeah, no, Capcom Generations, we've covered that on the stream before. I could have done that version. Oh, I didn't really want the lives, but never mind. Capcom Generations isn't quite arcade perfect. I think there are a few resolution changes, but other than that, it pretty much is. Certainly, Capcom Generations is the best version to go. They did do some bug fixes, so technically it might be better. Yeah. Well, even Yosuka boiled out on Shenmue. Shenmue was a massive vanity project in the end. It may be a very good, interesting game, but it made absolutely no money, and he was basically put on gardening leave. Hence why he did next to nothing after, because there were a lot of people at Sega that were very unhappy because a lot of people, and I know this from my time in the industry, from talking to people at Sega and people who worked at people, they were very unhappy because the fact that the money spent on Shenmue could have been spent to make a lot of other Dreamcast games. Because Shenmue at the time was a colossally expensive game. It's been out of clips now, but at the time it was the most expensive game by quite some margin. In fact, most of AM2 still at AM2. I think only Yoshitsuka's about the only one who isn't still there. Most of the original founders are still there, so that's the interesting one. And they still do, although AM2 haven't put out a huge amount of stuff in recent years, but they are still about. But when they do some very good games and ports. Right, here goes attempt. That bit was the tugs. Again, this is very much like Thunder Force. It's mainly a memory game. And I shouldn't have jumped into him. I should stay by the door, actually. Yeah, Phantasy Star Online was fantastic. And they did some great stuff with Knight, but I think that was when he was still working with, is it Nucho Abua, Nucho Ishu Nutsu, who I think it was the real brains behind Sonic Team. A lot of people said he was the one that did Sonic CD as well, which is fantastic. Yuri Naka, I think, got a bit hissy-fitty with Sonic CD because he didn't work on it. So because Sonic CD was supposed to be Sonic 3, hence why when the level stages, when the actual screens for the level stages appear, they literally have like a 3 as in Roman numerals because it was supposed to be Sonic 3. Downside with this weapon is it does a lot less damage. Got him! Got him! Yeah, there's a lot. I think a lot of Sega fans don't realise the bitterness in Sega Japan towards, because most of you haven't worked in the industry, but I've spoken to people, there are a lot of people that in Japan, hence why Sega didn't want much to do with Shenmue 3, because a lot of them apparently hate it. That's from unofficial sources that I know who've worked there and people who've worked with contacts there, that basically a lot of them blamed that for the failure of the Dreamcast. Which is not something many people expect from a big Sega fan saying that, but I am a huge Sega fan, but I am also a realist and I've seen what it did to the industry and other things, so... I mean, it's a great game, but... and I mean, Shenmue 3 is kind of indication of that. They wanted more money in the Kickstarter and were very disappointed with it. Yeah, some Shenmue fans, if they heard that, would probably go crazy and go berserk on chat, but that's what my industry sources have told me. Of course, these are all alleged allegations, I should have to technically say. Well, not really allegations, but information. No, Dreamcast was the last one Sega developed. They packed it in. Interestingly, the death of the Dreamcast was actually... the official end of the Dreamcast came in a shareholders meeting, apparently. Basically, because it was still selling so well, a number of people in Sega had a change of heart and actually realised that they shouldn't have cancelled it because they were still selling so many games. And they tried to do a U-turn. Unfortunately, when they went to the board, the shareholders overruled it. I think this was about 2002, because basically they realised cancelling the Dreamcast had been a huge mistake. Hence why Peter Moore came out and instantly said, no, it's not been cancelled on the day it was cancelled. But yeah, officially the Dreamcast ended when the shareholders took over. I know Peter Morse subsequently said, I was the one that did it, but it wasn't him, it was the Japanese shareholder meeting. He was probably the one that had to can the US version. He was basically told you've got to probably can the Dreamcast in the US, so he probably had... But yeah, it was the Japanese shareholder meeting that finally brought the... Yeah, sadly Sega never really recovered from it, I think, as a result. They made some horrible decisions. I think there was a lot of bitterness initially directed towards Sony, so they didn't release a lot of their games on Sony, and they then released them on the GameCube, and we had other things on the Xbox. That split the fan base, which was a huge mistake. Well, the problem is that it was cancelled because it was failing in Japan, and they hadn't seen the Dreamcast was failing in Japan badly, but they hadn't seen the sales figures. I think was it 2000? The 2000, the Western sales figures, because the Western sales figures basically blew the PlayStation 2 out of the water. It actually destroyed the PlayStation 2, hence why Sony suddenly went from saying, oh, we've got no stock, to suddenly get it in stock, because they'd been annihilated by the Dreamcast, which not many people don't realise. In the West, they've been annihilated. They were doing well in Japan, Sony, but in the Western market, the Dreamcast had annihilated their sales over that first Christmas, and they were in absolute dire panic. But they needn't worry, because in days of them trying to stop the address their position, Sega had basically blown themselves up by shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah, I mean, Sega never did become the strong third party. It's a huge shame. And you look at games like this and you think, well, where did they go wrong if they were doing all this? And I think ultimately Sega's main failing and worst enemy was actually themselves. If I'm being honest, there was far too much infighting between They spent a lot of money on, like, Sega North America were developing a successor to the Dreamcast or something stupid as well, and it was like, well, why not the success? We're developing a rival machine to the N64 at the time, and they said that was such a waste of money because the machine they were developing was totally underpowered. I mean, the Dreamcast itself came out a year too early. That was another problem. The Dreamcast was underpowered for what it needed to be. So I'll just run through this section, see if I can get to the next bit. Yeah, I think the Dreamcast could have done a lot longer. I think it'd be interesting to see. We never really saw what true end-life Dreamcast games look like, sadly. I mean, it is a real shame. I think Sega's mistake was to pull it early, because if they hadn't done... It would have been interesting to see what would happen if Sega hadn't pulled the Dreamcast, because if they'd remained, I suspect they probably would have struggled in Japan, but they probably would have taken the Western market, at least for the first few years. My suspicion is Microsoft would have been forced out of the market. I don't think Microsoft would have been able to enter the market if Sega had been in it, because Microsoft wouldn't have been able to take up share, which is the one thing I think would have been interesting. Interestingly, Microsoft were at one point... did actually speak to Sega about acquisitions of them, but I think there were some misgivings. But then Sega at one point were going to be bought up by Bandai as well, but they couldn't decide on who was going to get positions in the board, so that went by the by as well. Yeah, the reason the Dreamcast was developer friendly was because it was the exact opposite of the Saturn, and that was one of the key reasons why the Saturn had failed, because it was so developer unfriendly that most developers had ignored it. working in loads of... Yeah, that's the thing, the Dreamcast destroyed it, and then Sega literally blew up the... I remember Digitizer, there was... Don't know if you remember Digitizer, if you guys, any of you guys living in the UK, it was a teletext service. So don't know if you remember teletext and CFAX. And basically, they actually said at the time, it was basically like shout, because basically it was literally like they just had a successful Ferrari, and then literally they just blew up the engine by announcing we're not going to make games on it. And that's why Peter Moore came out initially and said, no, we're not cancelling, because they had just seen the sales. But the Japanese had basically, and this was another key factor, the Japanese had made the decision without consulting the Western arms of Sega, which was another classic mistake. They had basically not checked and seen the sales and seen how successful it had been. So they, again, just basically were their own worst enemies. Right, let's see if we can do this bit. Oh, it got me again. Yeah, I think because it was a cheap Blu-ray player. Same with the PS DVD player, but same with this PS3 was sort of a cheap Blu-ray player. Although the PS3 was Sony's failure in many respects. Interestingly, the PS3 and the Sega Saturn are almost identical with a lot of their factors, with their primarily the third console. Technically not quite true for Sega, but there's a lot of similarities between the PS3 and Saturn, which is very interesting. They may well have been slightly bitter about this test. Oddly enough, Sega Japan did everything right with the Saturn though, because they actually won. They actually did very well with the Sega Saturn, but they couldn't repeat that success for the Dreamcast. I think in part because they couldn't deliver the games on the Dreamcast that they could deliver on the Saturn. Because the Saturn became quite a cult, this is cool, and the Dreamcast was never quite that. Oh yeah, any console takes a while for the console library to go. No, I don't think you're saying it's bad. I mean, we've got lots of PS2 stuff here. I mean, no console is true. There are very few truly bad consoles. All the main play ones have always got a huge selection of very good games. Saturn's got a large library, so you wouldn't exactly. When you look at the Saturn's library, you can't really call it. It's not the failure some people like to claim it to be. It's actually quite successful console. It's relatively high up the console ladder as well. It's nowhere near the sort of true failures that some consoles sold handfuls of units. Right, let's see if we can do it this time. I'm actually going to take a bit of time, although I am against the clock, so that one. Oh. Alright, get that one out of the way. I'm just going to try and see if I can progress a bit here. Come on. The annoying thing is a lot of these arm things are in places where you can't attack them. So I need to... Oh, I've got two of them come out. Yeah, Dragon's Quest is such an important franchise. Interesting fact, Square Enix did, or Squaresoft as they were then, did have Sega Saturn development kits and never used them. So clearly Sony put them into a... I mean, one of the big factors people don't realise is Sony paid their way to win that generation a lot. Which is one of the things, they made their console-friendly developer, and they also invested a lot in marketing and getting people to not port their games to other systems. Which is how they won it. I mean, they had financial power, and that was the thing. Nintendo and Sega both directly underestimated Sony, and both of them were given the opportunities to go into business with Sony as well. But both of them had the attitude, oh, what do they know about making video games? Well, as anyone knows, any business, I mean, Sony were very smart setting up the PlayStation because they went and got studios that knew how to develop games. So they spoke to Namco and they spoke to Psygnosis in the UK, and they had Naughty Dog and a few other studios. Well, Naughty Dog weren't officially, but they got they gave the support to the developers, and they got the right people involved to make sure that. And there we go. Oh, that thingy didn't pop up there. Oh, that's going to hurt me, so I should have smashed that. Right, this is the Slug Boss, which on the Amiga's version I always remember being brutally hard because you couldn't. Yeah, Dragon's Quest is weird because it's a series that we didn't get in Europe, so I mean that was Inex's failure to get their own games released. It's a weird franchise. It's huge, but it's not huge in Europe because they couldn't even get the games released. Because the first one we got was the PlayStation 2 one, which is just madness. Yeah, they definitely knew how to make non-stop challenging games. You have to be basically on your guard 24/7 with this title. It really is not. I think if I actually had some of the best weapon supers are slightly better than this one. And I just lost my. I think the minute you lose your armor, you really put yourself at a disadvantage. Oh. Yeah, it really does show the standout between 8-bit and 16 bits. You have a much closer port to the arcades at the time. You have a much more bolder, colourful game. And you think this was probably on a small cartridge, so ooh, that was quite a skip. Although it's shame about the armour, but never mind. This bit's a bit more, a lot of these sections are far harder in the arcade. That I will say, they're a lot more chaotic. Right here, guys. So. We want to keep moving just to avoid the sort of worms things when they pop up. think I'll be impressed if I get to Beelzebub, which is the sort of bee-wasp boss. Yeah, 650. Yeah, you realise the things developers did, and a lot more. You realise you had given time, developers could have done even better. So, because they learned to optimise, because this is a really early sort of launchish game. So, and if anyone will tell you when you first make a game for a console, the first time you make it, you're still getting to learn the ropes, its optimisations, its flaws, its strengths, its weaknesses. I mean, having worked on sort of early PS3 games and later PS3 games, I know the differences when we started to optimise, and 360. I mean, I worked on end-life PS2 games, so but we never didn't work on anything that interesting because we were mainly working on film tie-ins. But on PS3, I worked on some quite nice titles. It was interesting to see the stuff as they got better at it on 360. I don't think Sega paid them. I think Capcom approached them to release the games. I think Capcom were the ones that wanted to do it. Because I think Capcom were very minded about trying to make their games as many platforms as possible. And I think the way around it was they did a deal with Sega that they would co-develop them. That's basically a license thing. No, I doubt at the time Capcom would have done a good port. And the thing is, Capcom were very experienced in outsourcing their games certainly not by the mid-90s, they were very experienced with outsourcing. In fact, a lot of games that we'd like to think are developed by Capcom are actually outsourced titles, so that's going to beat this boss. I'll be quite pleased if I can get to near the end of the first run through. I think it's the castle next, so that's Beelzebub, the sort of bee boss. And then you don't fight Lucifella to the second run. He is Lucifella. Actually, I think if I do, that should give me... No, I don't want an axe. That's a rubbish weapon. I don't want sword either. I think sword's the strongest weapon, but it's not got the range. I quite like this weapon, but the super's just rubbish, so the super's pointless. There is a slight issue, I will admit, actually with the down attack. Maybe it's a 6-button joypad, but often it's not coming out. One down, 4 to go. Ah! Oh, the super graphics. That was, yeah, I'm aware of that console. It's quite, there's like a handful of games on it, weren't there? Interesting, the Amiga's port of Ghosts and Goblins is absolutely fantastic, but it's really rare to find because I think it was released in like 89, but what it was it used 1 meg of RAM, so it's nigh on arcade perfect, I think, apart from the music. But because it used 1 meg of RAM, most machines didn't have that at the time, so very few people ever had it. And even the Ghosts and Goblins Ghouls and Ghosts port on the Amiga only used 521K. can't remember if I actually finished this Mega Drive port before. I generally don't tend to play it that much. I tend to play the Saturn's Capcom Generations pack, which is borderline arcade perfect. It's not quite arcade perfect. Oh, I keep missing the chest, and there's two right at the start as well. There's another one as well. Yeah, I don't think the super attack for this weapon will do much cut, but let's find out. No, it definitely doesn't. Yeah, there's definitely an issue where the moves you can't... Sure you can throw, yeah. Maybe it's a 6-button joypad, it's just not as smooth as it should be. Keeps throwing down. I really want to stay as far away from the sort of worms things as possible, just to keep. So as soon as I see the thing open up, I just want to go up. Dynamite! Yeah, I think it did. It's relatively cheap to pick up Ghouls'n Ghosts. Not sure about in Europe, because this would have actually been quite a... Because the Europe got Mega Drive quite a bit later than Japan. Although I think Sega got the Mega Drive out before Nintendo. So Nintendo were really slow getting the SNES out. I should say I am actually playing the PAL version of the game. This is one of those universal cartridges that when you stick it in Japan, it automatically, it just go. They obviously did all the regions at once, so basically if you stick it in the Japanese version, you just instantly get the PAL version, you get the Japanese version if it's set to... in the Japanese Mega Drive, because it's basically a universal cartridge, which is quite nice, but it does mean as soon as you set to English you get oh, I don't want that, and the spikes will kill you, but if you take a hit and fall through them, they won't. Definitely some speed running tactics there. Oh, that's a weird. How far are we in? We're 1 hour 20 in, so I might wrap up in the not too distant future with a slightly shorter stream tonight, but my system. Yeah, there are a few. Weirdly, the weird one, Streets of Rage 2. So on the Japanese system, it will go to. I think the Japanese system, it will go to the Japanese cart. But if you put it goes to bare knuckles. But if you put it on the US version, it triggers the region lock screen. So it's a bit weird. It's region locked on one, but not the others. I should really get in the super attack. Too much seems the super for this weapon. So some cartridges you can literally get, like it's region locked on NTSC America, but not Japanese NTSC. Technically there are 4 regions for the Mega Drive. Effectively they are PAL and NTSC, and then they are Japanese and English. Those are the settings for it. So technically, and there are a few there were a few countries that actually had Japanese at 50 Hz, basically Japanese PAL. I think if I'm right, I can literally do that on this one. There are a few uni cartridges, not some of the later games, it only seems to be some of the earlier ones, but they are out and about, so to speak. On the second run, you actually get an additional weapon. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'm not having much luck at this point. Let's see if I can beat this boss. Yeah, you can sometimes get really lucky runs with this boss. You just get down here without taking a hit, and then it should be good. I'm making lots of silly mistakes though, so yeah, like that one. I shouldn't really be making them, so what I mean by silly mistakes, they're mistakes as a pro gamer I really shouldn't be making, but I'm just either sidetracked or just doing things I shouldn't really, I know I shouldn't really be doing that, I'm just trying to chance them. So yeah, see if we can get down to him with full armour this time. Well, I didn't really want this weapon's not very good because it's doesn't hug the ground like the other ones, so oof, yep, that's my say. That's what I've been saying. Instead of saying something stronger a couple times, I have to learn to slightly keep it clean on stream. This one might actually be a really good attack if I can get it down to the boss. He says as he takes a hit there. I shouldn't have taken that hit. That was an obvious one to avoid. That was an easy one to avoid. I have a feeling this one doesn't go through the boss, so it's basically impossible to damage it. But the super is very good because it's basically jump there, jump there. I think a couple of these you can literally. Yeah, it does actually go through the boss. Oh, that does a lot more damage than the... well, maybe it's not such a bad weapon after all, but it is... yeah, so I can kill those things quicker, but Okay, that might be a slightly better weapon actually because it's doing a lot more damage. Oh, jump up there and I lost my armour. Yeah, just sort of jump up there to reveal that chest. See if we can get another. There are a couple of chests along the way, so see. Right. Try and avoid the axe because that really is not a great weapon in the slightest. Till the game was absolutely, yeah, that is kind of what this franchise is known for, absolutely mastering the series. Oh, there's actually two there, is there? I'll just bring up the other one with bit glitched. Let's see if I can actually get my skills together so I can actually do this time. Oh, come on! Spawn at my feet, why don't you? Thanks very much, game. By the way, I should say getting hit by two spells in a row is fatal, I believe. Basically, if you get hit by a magician spell, I think it's either fatal or it does nothing, one of the two. Rage building! Oh, so close yet so far. Oh, I should have done that time. We almost had it as well. Right, I can do it next time then. There's the Simpsons episode of the Take on the Shining where Homer's basically making a sort of, where he's like, when they basically freeze him at the thing and he's basically at the end watching TV and is like urged to go insane or something and rising as the TV starts turning on. Right, let's get it this time. Okay, I'm in a good position. Should have really done this earlier because it's not really that hard. I think it's just the weapon. The boss is just a pain. Having the right weapons really do help at some of the bosses, especially ones that do high damage to it. So I'm actually just going to jump along. I'm actually going to be cheeky and just unleash. Basically jump along at this as I go along, so that way if I keep moving the worms aren't quite the problem. If you stay in one place, that's when the worms can be a bit problematic because they will spawn around you, whereas if you keep moving they tend to spawn on either side. Oh! To Kill Rising, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's a joke from The Simpsons. One of the early Halloween horrors where they're doing the... where they basically do a mock take on The Shining where Homer is being Jack Nicholson's character. Oh, we almost had it there. I shouldn't have used that super. I was trying to basically exploit the invulnerable frames during the super, but it probably wasn't a wise idea. Right, let's get it this run. I want to try and get to the castle at least. I'm certainly not going to be doing a second run, that's for sure. In this game, you don't get to the true final boss, but the thing is, once you've done it once, this game gets so much easier. In fact, it's one of those games with the difficulties. Basically, it's only really trial and error. It's a bit like Another World. Once you really get it down, it's very easy to finish very, very quickly. But it's just a case of getting to learn the game the first time, because basically it's killing you via unexpected attacks. Okay, that's annoying, but I can still... Is it one out the way? Yeah, you have to... Yeah, the shinning, yeah, that episode of The Simpsons. Yeah, it does. The shinning! I must admit, The Simpsons really is one of those programs that really has suffered in recent years. They stopped doing the sort of life commentary that they did in the earlier episodes. And, I mean, there are quite a few good pastiches of video games as well. I think as with a lot of things, the writing quality of a lot of things has gone down in recent years. Simpsons is definitely one of them. They've gone from pastiching sort of current affairs issues to doing a lot of silly things, whereas they don't necessarily feel like they were much more human beings in the original one with their flaws in the earlier series. In the later ones they sort of became sort of a bit... But yeah, there are some great moments that sort of sum up a lot of issues. Even in the video games, some of the sort of pastiche video games, there's one that's a whole mick take on Mortal Kombat and it sends it up just so sublime. Right, attempt, no, what's this, attempt no 15 or something? Charge ready. I think there has been talk of the maxing Simpsons actually, so it becomes unprofitable. I don't believe, despite Ghouls'n Ghosts is quite a legendary series, or Ghosts and Goblins is the first to talk about, I don't believe The Simpsons have ever pastiched it. And as far as I'm aware, there's not, because it's one of this franchise, I think more video. I'm surprised it hasn't been, it's probably been pastiched in one or two things. Yeah, you could always do a joke where, yeah, this knight really should get a better suit of armor. Wait, it breaks after one hit? Yeah, you're really going to the wrong armor suppliers. have a suspicion this first one you can take out before it actually triggers the boss. So yeah, I think you can take out that first one. So just keep moving to avoid. Because basically it's a little bit random where the things are going to spawn. So and also a bit random where they're going to end up as well, which is the issue. Back in the dot, right? Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. Do we feel this game is accurate? No, not in the slightest. But it's a great fantasy story. It's not. I don't believe the world. It's not. It's not set in our world, though. I think it's set in some fantasy world. I can't remember. I'm not actually sure Capcom have ever officially named the world. I know Maximo's are supposedly set in these games. The Gargoyle's Quest as well. So. Gargoyle's Quest are essential plays, and I should cover them on the channel because I'm a huge fan of the Gargoyle's Quest series. The downside of Gargoyle's Quest, we have all of them, but currently our Gargoyle's Quest 2 cartridge does not work for some reason. So I'm not sure what the issue is. Oh, again, one's come up out of my feet. I should just probably just ride it down. Let's go. Let's see what the time now. 1:30. At least we're getting down this section quite quick, so you are a bit at the mercy of the game in this section because it can be very, very random where it's going to throw and where it's going to pop up the hearts as well. You have just got to watch those wormholes as well, because where the holes pop up is where they're going to... Oh! Yeah, so again, I should have moved. I should have moved. I mean, you have to credit Capcom's designers. Incidentally, this series was created by the same guy who created Mega Man. I can't remember his name. And don't say Kenjo in Fame, because it's not him. It's Kenjo in Fame's mentor, who also went on to do the Tombas or Tombi games, depending where you are. He was actually creator of this series and Mega Man. He's not actually often credited as the creator of Mega Man, but he is the official one. It's not Kenjo in Fame, who's very often miscredited as the creator of Mega Man. Kenjo in Fame was the artist and has been the huge driving force behind Mega Man, but he was not the creator, so don't credit Kenjo in Fame as the creator of Mega Man, please. Obviously, there's so many retro things miscredit Kenjo in Fame as the creator. I think some of them have stopped doing it now, but oh, I can't believe I got hit by that. Yeah, Tombas is basically, it's almost like a sequel to this in many respects. I don't know if he still does game. I really would like to know. I remember seeing his name before, but I can't quite remember off the top of my head. Give it another whirl. I want to try and get to the castle before I finish. The castle's where it gets tricky with lots of the red armors and you really need certain weapons. The best weapon you actually need to complete the game is not available to the second run through in this one. There's one of the gem rings that you need, and like the other games, it's not available to your second run through. So. this time in a good position. Oh! Stayed too long. I think I triggered the worms actually by staying too long. So I'm going to keep moving this time and just keep throwing them to go along. That should stay with the base. Yeah, Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3 on the NES are fantastic. The later Mega Man 7 is actually really good, but yeah, Mega Man X1 and 2 are fantastic games. There's probably... I'd say about... In the X series, there's probably 4 seminal games. In X1, 2, 3 and 4, all the other X games can be avoided. X, 5 and 6 are absolutely atrocious in the Mega Man series. Of the basic Mega Man series, the original Mega Man is brutally, unforgivingly hard because there's no password system. And after that, it's pretty much... Oh, I've got to watch that one. That one throws the bullet out and I'm not paying attention. But yeah, the Mega Man's... The transmissions were quite good. The Zeros weren't that good. Mega Man... So, Mega Man 8 is probably the best of the original Mega Man games. Mega Man 11 is terrible. It's not particularly very good. Mega Man 8 and 9 are also awful. They were... Thingy's games, and they took out the slide, and it was so really aggravating. It felt like it was developed by people who knew nothing about the franchise, and I think it was Intel Create did them, and if ever I met them I would say you were amateurs with those games, because they were. The fact they took out the slide, Mega Man had a slide since 2, so it's really aggravating they took it out. It felt like they didn't understand the franchise. There have been a lot of mistakes. Basically, Mega Man 8 is the pinnacle of the original series. After that, everything's downhill. The first... So basically, 2 to 8 are really solid, all very solid entries. But I think 2, 3, 8 and 7 are probably the best. Yeah, increased masters of mediocrity. Yeah, the newer X games are all pretty terrible. 5 and X5 and X6 are absolutely atrocious. I mean, they're still okay. As far as Mega Man games go, they're still games. They're still fairly solid, but as Mega Man games go, they're just rubbish. Because the one thing I'll say with the Mega Man games is even the bad ones at least have a certain playability to them. They're like the Nintendo games. Nintendo still make, even when they make very bad Mario games, they still make them highly polished quality titles. So there are some very bad official Mario games, and I'm not going to lie. The one on Wii U, was it Super Mario 3D World? That was an appallingly bad game. That is shockingly bad. The Legend of Zelda series as well, some real highs and lows. The first major low has to be Ocarina of Time as well. I know that's a lot of people's fans' favourite, but in terms of actually design school, that took the series back so many years. It's just ridiculous. And that's the problem, that was a lot of people's favourites, but if you were a fan of the series up until that point, you would know Ocarina of Time took the series back in so many ways because it just regurgitated A Link to the Past. There are things like that a lot of people don't realise. Nintendo have often done that with a lot of their key franchises. They derailed it, but the fans are still like, oh yeah, it's wonderful, and actually no, it's got a lot of problems, and this is why it's got problems. But that one at the edge there, I should be standing up when I'm doing that. I'm actually sitting down quite a bit. I should be standing up. I've got here with all the power-ups before, I should be able to get here again. So this one at the end, I don't think actually triggers the attacks until... oh, it does. Oh, great. You can have a lucky run as well in this boss, where everything just goes your way. Oh, I should have moved. Right, I'm determined to get this boss. Apologies to the guy. Some of you may be thinking, I'm taking forever. Apologies. I should get this guy down. I might stop chatting for a second and just try and... Okay, let's just jump. Yeah, you can get you can still get Rockman X4 in Japan. There's really not much difference between the Japanese and the English version, so just the price tag these days. We've actually got all of them. It's weird, only Rockman X3, it's weird, Rockman X3 got released in Europe, but didn't get released in North America, whereas North America got Rockman X4 and Mega Man 8, which are the better two, because Rockman X3 was, of course, a SNES game. And not developed by Capcom. Right, I'm going to shut up for a second and actually concentrate on this to see if I can do this properly, so I'll just turn up the music. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's what actually happens when I sit down and actually concentrate what I'm doing. After a couple of false starts on that run, yeah, it's not that hard once you get to learn it. It's just a case of learning it and getting on action. Now, here's where this weapon's not going to be very helpful against the red armorers. Now, these are actually the character Firebrand is, but they're not Firebrand. Firebrand is the champion one from the Gargoyle Quest games, although Firebrand doesn't actually appear in, has never appeared in the Ghouls' Ghosts franchise directly. It'd be nice to actually see him crop up in one of the games. Now, this one, so I think that's one thing I have noticed, I think those gargoyles actually have a slightly different attack pattern in this one. They're called the Red Armors. They aren't Firebrand directly, they're actually like the Red Demons. Firebrand is a very specific one from the... Oh, this is going to be tricky. Now, this is the stage you do need to, on the second run, have the special weapon. So, there's an additional weapon. I'll see if I can actually get to it. Now, I might just try and be cheeky and just try and fly through, just run through these guys. Although I have a feeling you have to do this stage in one section. What I want is a better weapon though, because this weapon's terrible for this stage. I want something that's got angle on it. It's a shame there was never a homing weapon, that would be very helpful. Okay, there's one boss. Or the magician out of the way. I think there's a couple of... What you have to watch is they'll deliberately avoid your shots and try and dive at you, which is done there. See if I can get rid of him by running away from him. Sometimes you can do that. Yeah, he is from Ghosts and Goblins. Firebrand, he's the armoured version of the little chap from Ghosts and Goblins. So he's basically, the... Oh! I have a feeling the dragons can sometimes carry weapons. I think they can sometimes carry weapon pots if they spawn enough. So I want to try and get a weapon that has got a bit of range on it in this case. So certain enemies can spawn with the pots, carrying the pots, and they will be what will change your weapon. As none of them spawn carrying the weapons, I think there might be a chest. Yeah, he first appeared in Ghosts and Goblins. Oh, we got 11 likes. Thank you very much, guys. Very much appreciated. It's an all-time high for sort of, I think, one of the highest we've had on the Mega Drive streams. Now, despite my slightly rough performance, as it's been a while since I played through this, I might see if I can finish off the first playthrough, although I'll probably be wrapping up very shortly. Yeah, that weapon is not ideal for him. Oh, yes, come on. That'll be gold. Ah, yes, now this will be ideal for him. especially because it has invulnerable frames of animation as well. So, oh, and there's the pig does have its sort of vomit attack as well. Oh, I missed tiny invulnerable. I shouldn't have done that. Was a really silly mistake. Incidentally, if you get to this castle on the second loop, you have to have a certain weapon by the end of the stage, else otherwise it will force you to replay it over and over again. And that was a bit of a silly mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up in a few minutes to just actually see if I can get to this bub is Beelzebub, which is a massive B, and then once I've done it, I'll be told, hey, you've got to come back here because you ain't got the right gear. And then the second loop has an additional weapon that's if you get the chest after. These guys are definitely slightly easier than I think the arcade version. The arcade version, they do a much nastier swoop towards you. There he goes. Basically, in the arcade version, you have to get 3. Basically, once I've done this run, I will then get. I'll see if I can get to the next run, so that I can show off the. See that you can pretty much spam that attack once you've got it. And I should have spammed that more. Slightly less enemies in this version than there is in the arcade version, much like I think Cheat Boys as well. This really is an incredibly close call to the arcade version. Okay, here we go. And here's Asteroth from the first game. This is the villain from the first game, in case you don't know. That in the wrong order. Ah, yeah, you're right. Should have grabbed the knife. Well, the super attack is very helpful for this section. wait for that one to be. These flames definitely get longer there. Okay, so I can get the armour and the super if I get this just right. So, there, was it that one? You can turn me a duck if you want. I can fly! Oh, I wish I could. Right, we're going to wait till the single one, so that one, so that way I can climb on that one. You'll notice there's a very specific order. I should have done this all along, just crouch. Bit of sprite flare you will notice there. I was a bit too close that time. Yeah, he is actually a secret boss in SNK vs Capcom Chaos. I have actually unlocked him, he's quite cool. Although he's not fire... It's not... Well, Red Armor, I think it's the name of the standard version. Firebrand is the name of the special character version from Gargoyle's Quest. In Gargoyle's Quest, it's also always the same Firebrand, but he has a tendency to lose his memory. Red Armor is sort of the standard version. The sort of his kind. Right, so if I get a bit closer. Hope that's hurting him. Oh, I don't know if I hit his head. I've got the power damage on his head. Okay. Okay, it's a super tight. Now we get the Cyclops bit here, so I'm going to exploit the that. I hope that gets. This is probably the hardest, one of the harder bits in the castle. It's a double. Really, without that super, that's the worst weapon to have. So okay, I'll try that again. I think we're definitely going to get through this, the first run. I won't be doing a second run. Yeah, so that's Asteroth, the illusion boss. Asteroth's of course the first vision. There is actually a great puzzle game on Sega Saturn called... oh, there's a Ghosts and Goblins puzzle game on Saturn that's really good as well. It was released by Capcom. It's incredible. It's based on the sort of Incredible Toons. It's called Arthur to Asteroth. I highly recommend it if you haven't played it. It's a bit interesting. It's one we probably should cover on the channel, but there are a couple of really tough puzzle stages. If you ever played Bill's Tomatoes game, it's basically that, and that was terrible. I'm just gonna get killed there rather than so that way I can get the super for the Cyclopses. What I want to do is take out one of the Cyclops' heads and then deal with the other ones. So there we go. There's that one. That's the right one. Get up there. Just stay close. Yeah. And just jump up in front of the door and I'll get the super on. So awesome, very specific. By the way, guys, thanks for all those likes on the stream. Very much appreciated. If you are new to the channel, by all means, consider subscribing. Please do follow us if you do like our content. I expect most people here are already subscribed to Randomised Games. Very much appreciate all the likes on this. Glad you're all enjoying this video. I will probably do Splatterhouse 3 tomorrow. again, silly mistakes there. I'm just sort of casually playing a bit. I'm basically trying to rush this, which is my classic mistake with anything. I should actually just chill and relax a bit. But I will finish the stream in a bit, but hopefully I can at least show you the Elgato for this run. But again, like Thunder Force, once you get to know this game, once you know everything, it's very easy. So basically just repeat this tactic. What you should be doing is crouching and not getting too close there. Yeah, I'm trying to get greedy with the hits there, so basically jump up, attack him, duck. So yeah, hit the magician so he doesn't cast the spell. I'm going to wait for that one on the right to be singly. Up we go. Up we go again. Up we go. Up we go right here. We go. Actually watch that sometimes he doesn't give you any room. There is some slight critical on this, but I wasn't expecting it wasn't early Mega Drive game. I think I always have to redo this bit even if I get to the boss, so here goes. This is probably the hardest bit there, so I need to make sure I get that, really want that super attack. And then I think it's pretty much onto the boss. The giant B, and then that's not actually the true boss, that's just the gatekeeper for this stage. The true boss is, of course, Lucifella, who's the sort of red flaming demon depicted in this one, but he's not available till you have the best weapon on the second run, so you have to, as far as I'm aware, the Mega Drive version. That gives you quite a lot of window to actually attack in there, Asteroth. It doesn't. Go right because that first one tends to spit a fireball. Okay, that was. So yeah, the flame appears. It disappears and you get a break. If not, don't rush it. Right, here goes again. Okay, and that is how you do it properly. And I think this is Beelzebub. Literally a straight, yeah, I just think it's just a straight. What was another Asteroth? Oh, it's two Asteroths. So Asteroth, of course, is the villain from the first game. And then we've got these eyeball things again. Oh, for armour, yes. Only the second time I managed to recover my armour. And then I've lost it again already. Screw it, just go for the boss. Just go for the boss. Yeah, I really should probably... I don't really want the sword, but something else. The super attack is really, really good for this weapon. getting a little bit impatient there. Right, I'm going to wrap up in about 15 minutes. See how far I can. See if I can get to Beelzebub. I forgot the extended section of this. I thought it was pretty much at the boss at this bit. Wondering if the lightning strike. Certainly, I think it might be time to change weapon, so I can use a different super, and that's me not paying attention. This game definitely punishes your mistakes. You do have to be on the ball 24/7, I'd say. I think it's 3 chests to get the armor back. So yeah, probably should. Yeah, I should really go under it because the fireball's quite. It travels at the same speed you walk at, so it's definitely not. Okay, I should actually do a video of it if you haven't seen it, because we do have it on Saturn and we have played. I've actually played all the way through it. I really enjoyed it. I think there were 1 or 2 puzzles we couldn't solve because there's just next to no guides on it. I think we did like a rough guide because basically it's like a game called Bill's Tomato Game because it's based on the Incredible Toon engine where basically each of the characters does a different thing and you've got to get them, but it's occasionally a little bit tricky to work out what the objective is. Sometimes you get Arthur to the goal, sometimes you get Asteroth to the goal. But it is a very good puzzle game. Yeah, I'm not surprised there's not much on it. Probably should cover that. There's definitely ones we should cover on the channel. Close to Asteroth that time. I need to sort of. That was a bit annoying. He comes out of the door so close as well. You have to sort of pull back a bit. Got to remember that. So it is. This really is a franchise that's more about trial and error than anything. I think the Red Armor is probably the most unpredictable enemy in the franchise. Again, should really make sure to wait patiently. I'm just going to get myself killed there so that way I can restart and keep the armor. I should remember. But yeah, no, it's an interesting game, Arthur No Asteroth. You might want to search the Japanese name. So there's probably some videos on the Japanese one, or there's a Naiko video as well. There's usually Japanese. I have started searching for Japanese names, hence I will usually include them in the description. Usually you will find videos on games from Japanese YouTubers, which is quite nice. But yeah, there are a lot of like obscure titles. But that's one of Capcom's. I think it's one of their few puzzle games. It is a very good game, though. I highly recommend it if you like Incredible 2. But yeah, it's not super text heavy, but I think you do need to spend some time with it. So yeah, it may put some people off. It's certainly not ever going to be everyone, because it's definitely not the. Yeah, the puzzle games are the one thing we haven't tended to pick up too much on the Saturn. There's still quite a few outstanding ones. We started getting a few just to patch up the ranges, but there's a few, like Dory, a couple of them that are quite interesting arcade games that we've not yet got. So I'd like to cover a few more puzzle games. There is an awful lot of arcade puzzle games that didn't get Western releases, which is quite surprising, seeing as arcade puzzle games are usually quite popular. But basically, if you see the flame appear, as soon as he finishes, don't jump up. the last flame, give it just a quick moment and then decide to move. Yeah, it's definitely worth doing that. I should be a bit more careful. So if you do get hit by it, the invulnerable frames don't protect you that much. I'm surprised how many Saturn puzzlers there are, actually, because there are an awful lot of puzzle games. I just recently got... So I don't know if you saw our Tokyo Memory Game video, 8-Bit Boy, where we covered the 2 shooters included. I know there was a puzzle version of that, and I think that even got a sequel. Tokyo Mento Puzzle Memorial. It's an odd name, Memorial, because Memorial's not really the right term for a date. Yeah, I didn't follow my rule there. I jumped forward. And hello to everyone. Yeah, the puzzle games. I think probably some of the more expensive ones for Gushing Over, but yeah, generally they're actually very reasonable price. We should cover more on the channel. There's one really great one is Noon, which is really good. Noon is fantastic. I don't know if you played Noon there. I highly recommend it. Hello, Epai Marche. Thank you for joining the stream. Apologies, I have to do a Google Translate of that, am I? But thank you for joining the stream. So they've rather tricky game. We're looking at the Mega Drive version of Ghosts and Goblins. Ghouls and Ghosts, I should say. Ghouls and Ghosts. I keep getting to call it Ghosts and Goblins. It's not. It's the second game in the franchise. So I'm going to see if the I think he's saying use the dagger. Yeah. I actually really like this one super, if I'm being honest. He's saying use the dagger. Dagger. Yeah, no, I really like this one super though. The problem is I don't actually have the dagger at this point. I must be missing a chest. But I do like that one super. But it's that dual Asteroth. If I can get out of there without any damage. Right, up we go. Quickly. I should probably see if there's a dagger in. I should probably take the other weapons next time. I do like the super of this one, which is why I've been keeping it, because it is very good. But the thing with the dagger is it's really weak, so it's quite crappy against the bosses. I'm just going to play that dual Asteroth bits. No, everyone on stream. Yeah, well, no, I should be. Oh, that got me straight out. That Cyclops bit is probably the hardest bit because I do remember that being more aggravating than the boss. The boss is relatively simple, I always find, but even then, when I beat this, I'm not going to do the second run, so. See, I really like the Firebolt Water because it does a lot of damage, so it makes the bosses a lot quicker to beat. Whereas some of the other weapons mean you're going to be on them a lot longer. Right, wait. Yeah, it's going to breathe straight fire again. So there, that's what I should be doing. I should be waiting. Okay, let's see what the chest gives this time, because it will give me a weapon, that one. Ew, no, I'm not taking the axe, that is rubbish. Alright, just gotta hope. Yeah, that's... I probably should just go all out on that last one, just in case if I don't have the super, so you've got to go straight out and release the super, I think is the best way to do it. The axe is rubbish. But if I see the dagger, I'll take it, seeing as you guys keep telling me to take the dagger. Yeah, the thing is that the super is, you do actually get them in order, don't you? Dagger is coming, okay. But the thing is, I don't like the dagger as much as the... But yeah, for this part I probably do need the range. I think you can also whiz it a bit. Got him. Yeah, that's what I should do with the... Okay, let's take the dagger. Let's just go with it then. I'm just going to run at this point. Just run. Yeah, if you look the channel, we just covered Psy and Twinbee, so the Twinbee Time Attack, both of them are basically mini shooter games. They're not full-on shooters, but they are. Yeah, there's a Tokyo Memorial puzzle game as well. I've got that one. That's not bad. I think there's a sequel to the puzzle game as well. don't really want to take the axe, but maybe I should try the axe, see what the axe's super is. I'll try the axe. At least, oh. Let's just do that. Probably should change weapon because that is probably, this is not the best weapon for this section, so I'll swap to the axe and then see how we go. But I'm gonna finish, probably finish a bit as well. Right. Oh. Yeah, we've got, if you look, we've got a video of Psy. If you search Tokyo, I've got it in the title as well. It says basically hidden bonus game. So yeah, apologies, it's not the most stellar gameplay because I am very out of shape with this game. So again, I'm jumping early. I'm getting impatient. Well, thanks to everyone on stream. Glad you are surprised we actually got as many people we are viewing this. I wasn't too sure how many people we would get viewing Ghouls'n Ghosts, seeing as it is an old school game. Oh dear, that's not good. I'll try changing to the axe. I think the axe goes through things, so... But yeah, it definitely makes these guys a bit trickier, right? I think there's a slight issue with the Fireball's collision actually, because you seem to get random things. I do like the super for this. The super is really good, but of course there's no point in having the super if you're going to keep losing the arm. Yeah, we know everyone's saying that I can't get dagger at present, so... and I quite like using the firewall anyway, so I do like the super though. Of the fireball one, although I just lost it again. Streaming chat. Yeah, it's always good fun chatting to you guys. Had a lot of people want the dagger. We've got the axe with the current weapon, so I have to swap to the axe and then. But even then, I'm not keen on the dagger super. I do like this one's really. If you can get this one to the boss, this one's super destroys the boss. But at the minute, I'm a bit rusty, so I'm not going to get this one to the boss. So I'll swap. I have to swap to the axe next time. Just check. I did just get the chest there, didn't I? Yeah. I mean, it really does depend on playstyles. If I can get, it's just the Asteroth. But the thing with the dagger is it does do less damage. Let's give it one. Yes, so in down. Right, here we go. The super right. So. Okay, let's take the dagger for a change. Yeah, no, I don't blame you, SNK boy. So I'll see. This is the axe. Yeah, it's constantly giving the axe. I don't like this weapon the slightest because it's just not. Okay, that one stayed back that time, so I will take this and give it one last whirl. Appreciate all the likes, guys. Apologies, this is not the stellarest gameplay. I was hoping to get off this first section. So what's the axe super then? Oh, it's the explosion, isn't it? Okay, that should be quite good. I think the plus side with this is it does shoot through the walls. Okay, right, I'm going to try that again. I will try and get the dagger, although I did not always. The dagger's got the. I've just got the speed attack. I know a lot of people use the dagger, so. Yeah, this is not a strong weapon. The axe. Only plus side is I think I can hit him when. Go, go, go! Okay, right. Well, thanks for the tips, guys. This one's the burst attack, isn't it? Okay, the plus side is... We can double throw. Okay, I will grab the dagger then. So I've had some people say to take the dagger. Shove it. Oh, I can't run through them. Okay, my bad. Definitely rusty. The final boss is actually not that hard. The weapon you have to use to finish the game, I think it's like a powerful. I don't recall it being very good. So the game kind of gimps you with a unique weapon you have to finish it with. But very much appreciate to everyone who's come on tonight's stream. It's a very good report. There we go, okay. I suppose the plus thing is I can attack, I think. I think the Mega Drive version may be slightly different to the arcade version with the number of enemies. I think it's slightly easier. I see you until the end. Thanks very much, appreciate it. No, I really do appreciate everyone on the stream. Everyone on the stream, appreciate all the likes as well. I really just wanted to show this one off for Ghosts and Goblins. I wasn't actually expecting to get this far, if I'm being honest, on the stream, because I know how ruthless this franchise is, and I'm a bit rusty, so I wasn't expecting to even get. I was hoping. See if I can get to the second round, but much appreciated, everyone. Yeah, I don't think I can get the dagger at the minute. I'm not sure everything's quite the same. I was hoping this was This is definitely one of the trickier parts. This double Cyclops head built is really irritating. The other one on that wall at the end of that other section. But I suppose the plus side is I can really shoot the other guys. But gracias for the advice, I should say. So you can double throw it. You throw it very, very quickly. Okay. Is that going to be? Is that just the? I don't really want that's not the daggers. Okay. Yeah, that bit's a bit of luck. I think I should try and see if I can get the bomb. Okay, I'll see if I can get the daggers. Just random that one. Gonna wrap up in a sec, guys. So very rusty. We have previously shown this on the channel before. I can't remember where I got up to. We have shown it in the Capcom Generations video if you want to see the Saturns and Arcades version. But it's a very, very good title. This is a very good rendition of it, and it's tricky. Of course, you have to finish it in one sitting, which is not the easiest thing, but once you get it down, I said it's pretty easy to replay. It's just a case of getting everything down. So it's been some time since I played through it. So for me, like Thunder Force 3, this is a case of relearning the game. But unlike Thunder Force 3, this one has a much tougher difficulty. As I said before, I don't think this is particularly Capcom's hardest game, as it's often touted as. I think Gunsmoke is a far harder arcade game. Games like Tower of Duraga as well, much more trickier. As well. Oh, I can't believe I just lost it there. Suppose the axes of range. Let's see what we've got in there. No, that's the sword. I really don't want the sword. Okay, right. Oh. Yeah, so this is the hardest bit so far. Very rusty. This bit was actually my most hated bit anyway. I always remember this bit being the double Cyclops bit was the one bit I was like, ugh. But appreciate to everyone. We had quite a few people on stream. I know, I've got to finish the stream in a second. It's late here, but appreciate everyone coming onto the stream to watch. I was only actually expecting to do a few stages. I didn't expect it as far as we did. I just kind of like to get to the... I would like to see if I could get to the second loop. But we'll have to see. Right, let's just go crazy. Just try doing that Yeah, definitely the bombs do a lot more damage, so I'll try that. Before I give up. Yeah, it's getting... Yeah, so it's past midnight here in the UK. I will be finishing in a second, so much appreciated to everyone who's been on the stream tonight. As I said, this is a classic Ghouls'n, guys, and I wanted to give one of the games a go for Halloween. And it is a really good all-time classic, which I highly recommend if you're a fan of the series. It is available on quite a few collections. It's going to be available on PS2, PS1. I don't think it's available recently. The original game is available in the Xbox Capcom Arcade Collection on Xbox 360. That's not available. That's available on PS3 and Xbox 360, and is available on Xbox One via backwards compatibility. It's not available on PS4, sadly. Bomb it. Apologies if anyone's been watching. I think the fourth boss was another sticking point, was also rusty. So we eventually got him down. The flames are actually quite good for that one. I do like the super. Yeah, it is on PSP. It is, and so extension on Vita. Although Sony have just removed pretty much, I think it's very tricky to need to buy. The store no longer has PS3 and PSP games and PS Vita to buy. You have to buy them from their respective formats, which I think for the PSP means you have to buy them from the PS3 now. So I think if you want to buy PS3 games, now is literally the last chance before they... Oh, I can't believe I died there. It's weird. When you want the head to come down, it doesn't. And when you do want it to come... when it doesn't come down, it's this random mechanic is so annoying. Yeah, Capcom haven't actually done a recent collection of it, which is quite surprising. So hopefully... Yeah, I can actually hurt. That's the one good thing about the axe. I can hurt Asteroth without having to jump up with the water. Ah. Okay, I will finish in 5 minutes' time, so we'll see how far I get. I'm actually surprised you've had as many people we have on stream. Thanks for everyone who's staying. Thanks for all the likes. I didn't think we'd get as many people. Thank you very much. Gracias. Oh, merci. Depending which language you are. I think we're beginning to tire now, even myself. I can feel myself tiring, so this time of night. I definitely would like to get a full run on this on the channel at some point. Yeah, there are some PS3 games that I think, and PSP games that I think are unavailable to buy now, so they take it, yeah, so you can't get, there are a few of them that only got digital. I'm lucky I bought most of the digital only games, but I think buying basically they updated the website and Sony didn't make it clear they were doing this change to, oh yes. So they didn't tell people they were going to change it, so they didn't make much announcement that they were changing it, so that you can only buy from the in-house store now. What weapon is that? That's the sword. Is the sword actually any good? Yes, finally! Oh yes, right, I've got the armour back. Super, right, so... a bit mindful of time because I don't have a lot of time. I do have to hurry a bit. Okay, here we go with Beelzebub. Ah! I think I'm right back at where I was, aren't I? Yeah. And the lance. Yeah, the axe is quite handy because it does go through things, so... Oh, I should go with the Beelzebub's not a hard boss, so we'll be on to the second loop. Jumped up, but yeah, I'm just about to finish in the next 5 minutes, guys. I'll give it one last shot. But thank you all for everyone who's been on stream. I nearly got Beelzebub there. I was quite annoyed with that. I should have got him. That was some silly mistakes on my part. I'm really getting. I can feel the tiredness getting into me though. So thank you for the advice, guys. Thank you for the joining me on the stream. It's been great to show this off on a Halloween theme. So it was good, really good title. Again, you can get it on, yeah, said PSP, PS1, PS2, Saturn, Xbox. Oh, running right, just literally gone and T-boned me right this time. That's the one thing with the random elements. You do sometimes get put in a position where you're going to die regardless. Thank you, A-boy. Oh, right, that's one last shot. Shield hugs. Have a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna. Right, this bit is pure luck more than anything. I'm too eager to try and get through that. I'm rushing it. Right, this is it. This is the last life. Let's see how well I do. Actually pay attention. He says as he takes a pointless hit. Right, I'll give it one last shot. That was awful. Yeah, I'm beginning to feel it streaming late, so thank you all everyone. Oh god, we're nearly hit the 3-hour mark. I didn't expect. Well, I think the last hour has mainly been this section, but never mind. It's just nice to play Ghouls and Ghosts as always. Definitely one I will do a long play at some point of. Okay, right. Yeah, I think I'll last 2 lives and that's it. And then I'm going to finish for the night and play Destiny 2 for about an hour before I finish. We do have another long play coming, and I'm hopeful it should be out Friday. Yeah, the spear's definitely not a strong weapon. I'm wondering if I should take the dart just for the strongness of it. Oh. Final attempt, because I'm just slightly annoyed I lost to Beelzebub that last time and I got the axe back. The lance. So here we go. So thank you everyone who's been on stream. I'm just about to finish. So as always, I will wish you a good night, a good afternoon, a good morning, let's try again. So I'll wish you a good night, a good morning, a good evening, a good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I've been your host, this randomised gaming stream, Random Game Riven. I will be back tomorrow with another Halloween-ish themed stream. And we will have a Halloween-themed fight night as always, so we'll be streaming again, as always, same time. Stream's actually gone on for longer than I thought I would do, but it's nice to see everyone enjoying it. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible as well. Right, let's just reset one last time. Here goes the final attempt. I will let you continue the countdown. I will sit down and do this at some point on the channel. You will get a long play of this in the arcade version. Right, one last attempt because that credit was a complete wipeout, and we haven't quite hit the 3-hour mark. So. Yes, thank you. Thanks to all my commentators. Thank you for 8-bit SNK boys staying with me. I know it's been quite late at night. Now we are hitting, it's midnight here in the UK, so it's not early. I know in Spain it's probably a bit later. But gracias to everyone else who's joined from all over the world. As always, very much appreciated your support and your likes. Glad to see everyone enjoying this. Apologies, Mike. I've been dying a bit more than I'd like, but it's the nature of the game, and I'm rusty. Okay, this is it, the final life, wherever I do. Oh, I'm annoyed I didn't get to the boss again, I should have done. Never mind. Thanks for everyone who's been on stream, very much appreciated. I see everyone's wrapping up now, so I will be wrapping up myself. I will be ending the stream. As always, if you enjoyed our stream, please hit that like button. A huge thank you to everyone who's liked the stream. And huge thank you. If you are enjoying our content, please do consider subscribing to the channel. I do stream weekdays, and I do every weekdays at 9:30, and I do also do a range of videos here at Randomised Gaming from across all aspects of gaming. Being an industry professional myself, having actually developed games. I do actually know one of my old bosses actually worked on the PSP rendition of this. Although I never actually played it before. I was always meant to say to him about it because the PSP version is not that good. Okay, that's it. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is me finished. I wish you a good night, a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and I will see you all in the morning. Or tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye for now.